Testing 1, 2, and 3. Looks like I got some sound. All right, so let's flip over here to the trades. All right, good morning, everybody. This morning, top mover that I've seen and been watching is GCTS. Behind it, we have a couple of other movers, FAAS, which didn't have any news, and then CADL, which was a mover from yesterday, only up 10%, not too impressive, but I think the top watch out of this morning is going to be GCTS. It does have news, and we'll go and look at that real quick as it continues. It starts to pop out here. Formed a nice little candle here, another buy up off of $10. So right now holding $10 gracefully, and wow, jumping up there right before the open. So let's go and look at some of this news here. So GTCS or GCTS is a semiconductor company, and they're basically going to develop in Saudi Arabia for 4G and 5G ecosystem. So pretty much building out, you know, for so long we've talked about 5G. 5G has had its pros and cons, the power consumption that it has, and some of the other issues that have been seen. But overall, 5G has kind of been re-imaged, and it's a pretty cool idea, right? Stronger internet, Wi-Fi, stronger, all of this, stronger devices, stronger. But the other downside for the people that are green and hugging, you know, that are on the other side, this stronger Wi-Fi could lead to health deficits, you know, being in your house or being in your vicinity for long periods of time, blasting those waves may not be the best. But today, somebody thinks this is a good idea. So it actually moved up from $5 all the way up here to like 12, ramped down here, and then gave another little leg up, and looks like it wants to break this high here. Let's look at the higher time frames. So this is a recent IPO. It's only been open for 2 months. These are the 2 monthly candles. Has a bottom here of 926. And let me get my drawing tool. On this previous candle, which it is holding within, and then the body of this candle is at 1164. That looks a little bit off. Maybe it's not. Yeah. Okay, and then the top side up here all the way to the 29. So that's a pretty big move. I don't know if it can get up there, but you know, we'll just throw them up there just in case. So those are some levels just in case we're heading there. We'll see that on the lower time frames. If we jump down here to the daily chart, we can see it's only been trading for a couple of days here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days calculated here. So this previous level that we just marked was a doji up here, which is what got it going down the first time. So we'll see how it holds up this 1185, pretty much to $12. Let me change this to 12. It's almost 12. So I changed this to 12. Okay. So right at 12. So we got our ranges on our higher time frames. Look out here on the 4 hour. We can see it testing that level right now of 12. And this thing was up at 56, which is crazy. And has a bottom here of 969 based on the hour chart. Go over to the what did I say? The hour chart, the 4 hour chart. Let's go over to the hour chart. Looks like 2 wicks thrown up here. Twice it has found resistance at the 12. And point of control right now is at 1062. We'll see how it holds at 10 after the open. But this is the most interesting stock that I saw on the day. And let's go and read that news because I didn't actually read it. All right, so Aromaco and GCT Semiconductor Holding Inc. signed MOU to accelerate the development of 4G and 5G ecosystem in Saudi Arabia. Let's skip some of this. Leading designer, setting stage, blah, blah, blah. So this is another collaboration, but it's a collaboration with a little bit more juice behind it. We've seen all this week collaborations, partnerships, acquisitions. That's what we've seen this week. So let's just see what they're talking about and if they mention any kind of financials in here. The collaboration aims to design and co-develop chipsets and modules tailored for LTE, 5G, and NTN spectrum in order to support the localization of wireless end-user devices and IoT manufacturing throughout the kingdom. It says, we look forward to working with Aramco and leveraging our advanced 4G and 5G capabilities. The future, or with future focus, AI driven. So this is not just a collaboration. They got a couple of things in here. So AI driven modem features to help develop the local ecosystem and provide reliable and fast communication for their key applications in Saudi Arabia and the broader region, said John Scheffler. I'm not even going to try. John, CEO of GCT Semiconductor Inc. GCT is a leading fabless designer and supplier of advanced 5G and 4G LTE semiconductor solutions. GCT's market-proven solutions have enabled fast and reliable 4G LTE connectivity to numerous commercial devices such as CPEs. Okay, let's go look at this other company, Aramco, and see what they're talking about. Aramco, or are they even a publicly traded? Let's see. Okay. Aramco, what you got over here? Saudi-based oil. So this is a oil company. So they got all kinds of stuff. It's an oil company in conjunction with the IT company that's working with AI, blah, blah, blah. So they got a lot of keywords kicking here, which is probably why they're up 100 something percent, right? Good morning, Donnell. And I think I had already did a mic check, right? Let's see. Yep, good. But anyway, let's jump out here and see what Aramco does. Or am I already on the profile? Okay. Saudi Arabia, or Saudi Aramco based oil company, produces and sells base oils and various byproducts in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and internationally. It offers various Group 1 and Group 2 base oils and byproducts such as asphalt, marine heavy fuel oil, slack wax, extract, and sulfur, as well as white products, including ultra low sulfur diesel, naphtha, and drilling fluid. The company was incorporated in 1976, so this is a older company coming into conjunction with this newer GTC semiconductor. So definitely some interesting moves out here, but we still haven't seen the open. I saw this one pop up and I just knew something better had to come out because FAAS didn't have any press releases or any kind of news, just a big pump up like we saw throughout yesterday, big pumps up and then a fail. Let's look at CADL as well. This was one that we saw grind throughout the day. So these past couple of days for CDAL have been pretty good, but it's just been a super grindy travel period, right? From all the way down here, where did it start? Right here when we saw it, it came out pretty flat into consolidation, tested the ATR high, found the ATR high to be a little bit of resistance, but eventually started to hold the ATR high. And this is when it was at $2.26. And I was watching it. Me and Donnell, we were talking about it. And I was like, I don't know. I'm going to see that thing get over 5. And so as it continued to grind throughout the day above the ATR high, and continued to just hold and finally just started getting above a couple of dollar levels, right? moving at first like maybe 50 cents at a time, 2 or actually 25 cents at a time, 2 to 225, 225 to 250, 250, and then it started to kind of open up throughout the day, right? And eventually, after all of this grinding, we see it break five here. And the $5 level is where prop firms like to play it. And so I know when it broke this level, they were really playing it, and it would go over to the next bar. We see this huge explosion, and that doesn't happen with small money. That's a huge explosion with some pretty big size in there, getting in there for this candle. And we go over again. We see a little bit of a pullback into a little bit of consolidation above the 5, more consolidation, and then into aftermarket. It wants to go wild, right? From the 5 all the way up to 11 in the aftermarket. So, pretty good move, but most of the move happened in the aftermarket, right? It moved another $5 in the aftermarket almost. But now we're here, and it is just revisiting another low here of right above the 7s. Good morning, Mike D. GCTS pulling back off of those 12s. We already got our levels labeled here based on the monthly chart and based on the weekly and daily chart. These are those levels. And we'll see where the ATR ends up being on this as well once it opens. Let's jump back over to this is how we actually labeled this thing. I did the low of the previous candle, this little wick out here, and then the body. And then to the top side, the body out here and the body of the previous candle on that as well. But that is a big move up to 30. I don't know if it can do all that, but anything is possible. It's got plenty of time in the day. And we've seen several things break the narrative. Like CADL yesterday, the narrative has been collaborations and all of that stuff. And CADL came out with pancreatic cancer, and that did really well. So I'm thinking that that's going to open up Pandora's box to like the medical catalyst and maybe cancer catalyst. So I'm going to be looking for those definitely next week to see if they can get hot and be hot in the morning instead of grinding all day and everybody is in a state of indecision. All right, CADL. Back up to 750s, only a 15% though. So definitely struggling to compete with GCTS, which has just got over 12 again. This is another chance for it to rip higher, which it looks like it's going to do. It definitely looks like it's going to go. Yep, there's an explosion over 12. And we'll see how this thing does. Big moves on this, big range on GCTS right now, up 119%. It's probably going to be the one on today that everybody's watching. We'll see how it holds over 12 though. $12.01 back under to 11s. Needs to pop back up there and continue to hold that. Probably needs to see buyers above 12.25. Okay, back down. So another test of that level. Can it close with the body of that level above 12 is the question. Pop out here and look at the SPY real quick. SPY taking a little tumble from yesterday. I say a little tumble. Pretty good tumble from the 524s all the way down to the 513s. So, it's operating like today is a Friday. Came in, got a nice sell-off. Almost a $20 or $10 sell-off there. And this one continues to struggle right at that 12. But the way that I look at these candles is I want to see where the respect is for the price range, right? So once this one closes, we know that it had a little bit of respect for the $10 level. And now it's showing that it has a little bit of respect for the 12. So it's going to have to make a decision. And once the ATRs are out, I'm thinking that it's going to make that decision once those calculations come into play with the last 14 candles. But it's right here at 12 again, showing a lot of respect to that level. So point of control is down here at 1062 right now. And the other thing, when I look at these candles, especially on the 15-minute, I look for an exhaustive move. The reason that I kind of figured this one was going to show some type of green after getting these two buyers, but I like an exhaustive move. So it's moving from what, 12 here, 1236 all the way down to the 941. If it had a little bit of continuation to the bottom of this value level here, maybe that would have been an exhaustive move for a little bit of consolidation, then a move back up. But at this point, we're going to see where it gets exhausted. Is it going to get exhausted on the top side or the bottom side? And right now, it looks like it's just consolidation between the two. But we shall see. This kind of has a lot of time on it. This one's trading real weird down here. I don't like that at all. So 45%, but ugh. Yeah, this thing's looking a little. If it can start to crack and hold that, it may look a little bit better over 12. But right now, just finding red to green and green to red. Buyers on this candle at 68%. Let's see if that shifts and goes to the sell side. 76% on buy side. 71. It's going to shift. 37. Sellers. Can it get over 40 and 50 for the sellers? 47, 50, 50, 63 on sell side. 71. So sellers coming in there. Let's see if they can get this pushed down. 84%, 82, 97, 100. Whew. Yep, sellers coming in there pretty strong. It actually looks like a complete double top now, though. Let's see. On the high, 1240. And then 1277. So not really a double top, but almost. Giving a pullback, and we'll see how it reacts at this doji, or if it wants to go through this doji and retest the 10 here. $10 million shares traded on it. It's the top mover above 5. That's getting a lot of attention. Let's go look at the floats and everything. We didn't do that. Let me go do that. So GCTS statistics doesn't even have that information out yet. Float is looking like 32.49 million on that one. I don't know how interested I am in CADL, but we know this one's 32.49. Let's go and cross-reference that. GCT. This one has a 12.57 million in the float at Market Watch. Whoops. TS. This one has a 4.04 million float in FinViz. So definitely kind of all over the place. GTC. And no shelf registrations. Let's go check this one. And no information at the short squeeze. Okay. Well, it's got different numbers at every site. I don't know. Different numbers all around. Let me see what they're talking about. Gave a little throwdown and now has bounced back up. Looks like it wants to retest that 12. This is a little bit of a doji candle if it closes like this. If it closes like this, I'm thinking this is going to be a bearish candle. If it closes high up here, be forming a hangman. And this is I guess you really can't tell yet if this is consolidation or the top of a move. But if it's the top, that's going to be a hangman if it closes like this. If not, it's looking like it's forming more of a spinning top. But it's got about 8-9 minutes to close this candle. And CADL still getting a good amount of volume as well down here, even though it's only up 12%. It's got about 9 million shares traded today. We'll see how abnormal it is on the open. GCTS, I don't. It's not going to calculate anything, any kind of numbers because it's a recent IPO, so it's not going to give us any relative volume, relative standard deviation, none of that. So it's whatever. We'll just have to see. Well, it might give relative volume. You think relative volume is calculated on the last 50 to 60 bars. So I don't know. Maybe. Also, the disclaimer that I always forget to put up. So the disclaimer basically is saying, hey, when you see me doing these case analysis, these case studies on these stocks or whatnot, definitely do your own due diligence. You know, I'm looking through the information that's current to me. And, you know, information, new news can pop out, anything like that can happen. So definitely keep your eyes open and think about it before you make any decisions. Think about it before you hit the buy button or the sell button. There should be a reason for either way, right? But yeah, this month has definitely started off a little bit slower than I would have liked. GCTS found that 12 to be another level of resistance there, trading back towards the doji. So this is one of the things that I kind of look for is doji to doji trading as well. So we'll see where the next doji is formed. Is it formed below this? Or is it formed somewhere above this? Is it going to be giving us a move back towards 12? But with this candle pattern here, what it looks like is a tweezer pattern where it's pretty much ate up the body of the previous candle. But we'll see if it actually breaks down this price level of 1063. Could be an engulfing candle to the downside. But, you know, we're just watching, waiting, and observing. Right there at the 11s. And of course, it has this bottom here at 969. And the value level is down here at 941 right now. I just want to see which one of these is going to stand out, though, on the day. I mean, it's only really three that you can really look at. One is up 91%, GCTS, FAAS, and then CADL, unless there's something under $5 that's moving that'll populate during the open. We have 5 minutes until the open. We'll be watching GCTS out of the open. And then I'll keep my eye on everything else and see if anything else pops up. But yeah, we pretty much got our watch list of three stocks basically. We know that the SPY has taken a tumble, took a tumble yesterday and has come into some type of consolidation. SPY falling from 523 all the way down here to 513. So we like to be mindful of the overall market as well. And we'll see how it operates down here, if it goes just sideways, or, you know, how people want to react to this fall off, or if it wants to do a continuation down. But yeah, same thing on the NQ. Nice little dip down. All right, about 3 minutes left until the open. Hovering around 11, which is the top side of this doji candle. We'll see if it can push through this and get under 1084. Or 1080s, I'll say. I don't like to call it direct prices, but the area of 1084, area of 1080. And we've seen this throughout the week as well. With some of these stocks, they like to jackknife. So they like to do these. They'll find resistance and really make a big move down, find resistance and really make a big move down. So I just want to be careful and understand that that is a pattern that's been happening this week. And like I said, this week was super slow. I only saw one thing that met my criteria, which was VVPR, and it didn't even get me in. Didn't even give me a entry, my entry price that I wanted, and it ended up failing anyway. So on that day, so I was like, okay, whatever. We'll leave it alone. But as of now, I've been just sitting in the grave for this week, looking for something that's not going to jackknife and has the potential to go higher. But this week, I might have to accept the jackknife, wait for the jackknife, and then try to participate. But this is the last day of the week. You don't want to go hard and heavy on a Friday. I mean, Friday is usually not the home run day anyway, right? A lot of sell off like we saw in the SPY. So we just had to keep all that stuff in mind. Let's see if we can get down there. About 2 minutes. See if this candle will close below 11. All right, there's 1095s. Getting down there to that doji area, which was the 1080. We were looking at the bottom of this doji and seeing how it acts within 1014 to 1080. Got about 70 cents to try to find some support here. Now, these were the bottoms of the moves. This is definitely a hammer counter, so it's hammering at the bottom, but we're not sure where the bottom is. This is a lot of range for it to be trying to hammer out a bottom from 1016 all the way up to 1089, 1090. We got about 20 seconds left until the open, and we'll see how this thing does. The ATRs will pop in here soon. Seven, 6. All right, there's the open. ATR high is 1203, ATR low is 1003. So ATR low right at that hammering out of the bottom down here. And ATR high up here at 1203. What in the world's going on? It's not moving. All right, so looking for the breakdown of 1080 to enter this previous level where people were kind of indecisive down here trying to hammer out the bottom. See if it can get on down there through that 1080, 1075-ish level. FAAS looking trash. CADL ATR high up here of 765. ATR low is 635. And we'll see which one of those it wants to test, but it's only up 12%, so we'll continue to watch this one. GCTS tapped this $11, this previous doji, popping up there towards the ATR high, throwing a pretty big wick up there. And there's the crusher back down through the 1080s. We'll see if it can go ahead and break down this 1075, 1080, 1075 area. I like to say area. There's a little scratch through there. Let's see if we can get some more momentum to the downside. If we look over here on the buy sell indicator, we can see we're at 100% of sellers. Let's see if they can continue to press. That's a lot of sellers. Buyers got to do a lot of work to shift that back over. So 1050s, definitely got the break of 1075. Big push down here, finding another level of resistance up there at $12. Let's go and look at FFAA or FAAS going down. CADL going down, and I'm not seeing anything below $5. If y'all see anything, definitely throw it into the chat, and we'll look at anything that's below $5. Is re-entering this level that was previously tested, going towards the ATR low, which is the 991 on this one, on this candle, hitting 990. That's the ATR low, bouncing there, right there off the ATRs. And this is why I say the ATRs are so important. You saw that bounce right there, right at it, like literally off of it. So we'll see how this candle closes. It's not done yet. It is picking up momentum, forming a little jumpiness in here, but sellers are still in the driver's seat at this point. So tried to test ATR high, didn't exactly get the touch, but definitely got the touch on the ATR low. And bouncing back up here to the doji, where the doji was last time. So all the way back up to the 1080s, big bounce. Forming, if this was at the top of the move, this would be a rickshaw, man. But this, I don't know if this is a top or bottom. It's just consolidation. So there really is no pattern you can call here. All right. Looks like it went into a halt down at 976, breaking the ATR low. Okay. Yeah, it is still trading though. This 969 here was a level that we marked from the monthly chart. So trying to see if it'll break that. That's a monthly level there at 960. I'll say 969 area. I put a price line there, but I mean the area there, if it can break through it. Let's look at FAAS, CADL making its way back up to the ATR high, but not a lot of momentum there. So, you know, monthly level, of course, that's going to hold a little bit too. Both of these have some levels of significance, the ATR and the monthly level. Bouncing off of that monthly level. And we'll see if it can continue to hold that and try to go back up to the upside. Actually, that'll be dope. 13 million shares traded down here with a full test of the ATR. Got below the ATR and came back up, but this candle has not closed yet. So as long as the candle is moving, it's still lined, or it has the possibility to be lined. So, you know, we got to kind of see what it wants to do here. Keeps going towards those 90s there. We'll see where it forms the next doji candle. Okay, FAAS. Okay. Um, Wait a minute. Did I press the wrong thing? Oh, I was trying to get CADL. Yeah, it's still going down. Okay. All right, I'm seeing something under 5, which is MDIA into halts, up 126%. Let's go and check out the news on this bad boy. So MDIA. Okay, so this is holding. I was trying to go to press releases. So last news on it was January 2nd. Okay, so that means it's really no news. They got a new senior vice president of sales and marketing. So not any recent news since January. Let's go and see what this company does, MDIA. Then we'll hop back over there to GCTS. Let's go to profile. MediaCo Holding Inc. owns and operates radio stations in the United States. The company engages in the operation of WQHT-FM and WBLS FM radio stations in New York City area. It owns and operates advertising displays such as bulletins, posters, and digital billboards, primarily in Georgia, Alabama, South Carolina, Florida, Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio. The company also offers digital advertising and event, which includes sponsorships, ticket sales, licensing, and syndication services. MediaCo Holding Inc. was incorporated in 2019 and is headquartered in New York, New York. All right. So GCTS is into a halt downwards after breaking the ATR low and the monthly level there. So we'll see how that is. That's a pretty bearish signal there to be breaking both of those. What is this thing? Donut? I don't know what that thing is. But we're looking for things holding above. $5 right now. And then we also got MDIA that is halted. Let's actually look when this thing's gonna unhalt. IPO trade halts. Okay, MDIA halted at the 34.19. And remember, this thing had catalyst back in January, so it's gonna be one of those you got to be quick situations, right? Instead of you got to be right, you got to be quick. So 934.18 should be unhalting at 939.19. And Donnell also is trading HUBC. We could look at that one as well. This one is about to unhalt though. MDIA. HUBC going on up. Donnell, you called that one yesterday afternoon. Donnell actually traded there yesterday afternoon. It got going. And so it's still going. Up 65%. I forget what the news was on that one, but let me go look. HUBC. Oh, cybersecurity. Yeah. It was cybersecurity. 3 hours ago, it secures a $8 million in financing to accelerate growth and strengthen financial position. And then a day ago, it acquires QPoint Technologies, advancing its plans for a secure data fabric ecosystem. So yeah, I definitely had some news yesterday, and it's going up today. All right, MDIA opened up. MDIA. And it looks like it's going to be taking a lead if it continues doing this. I mean, not MDIA, but HUBC and MU. Both of these, they're both going crazy. I don't know about GCTS. It does not seem like it's going to be a lifer, but we'll go and look at the unhalt time anyway. So GCTS halted at 35.43. It should be unhalting at 40.43, which is literally in seconds. So I'm gonna watch this, and then I'm gonna pop back over to HUBC or MDI, which is up 150% right now. About to get this open though on GCTS. Let's see how much lower it opens. 43 should have opened right there. Maybe it's taking a couple of seconds. Maybe it's ooh. Sometimes people say, "Oh man, you shouldn't wait the first couple of minutes. You shouldn't do that. You should just go in there. Just go in there like a soldier." I'm like, "Bro, this right here, that right there, bro." Ooh, halted at 969. We'll see if we can get buying pressure off of this previous level here of the 850s, but it is under the ATR low, which is 976. Now, if it can start breaking back above that, it will be looking interesting. But man, this is a huge fall off towards, and we've seen a move like this earlier this week. What's that stock I was watching? There's one that I was gonna trade. It had the range and everything, but it dove like this as well. But I forgot what it was. Let's jump over to MDIA, still up 161%, and HUBC still doing this thing above the ATR high as well. ATR high is 161. It needs to hold above that. Actually, it doesn't need to. I mean, it still be bullish if it continues to just trade around this level of 161. But MDIA continue to move out. Had this top up here of 424. So a lot of big movers around here. That's a crazy drop. Whew. Dropped all the way to this value level low here. So the question is, can it get back over that monthly level of 969-ish, 970-ish? Like if it were to get bought all the way back up in here, I'd be like, okay, that's like super bullish. There, like, how would this thing go all the way back down to 8 after coming back into 10? That's super bullish. Plus, it has the catalyst on the day. MDIA does not. It's just going up. HUBC had a little bit of catalyst there as well. So from yesterday. So let's actually see. So the relative volume HUBC is 41 times its normal trading. It is 6 deviations away from the normal or the norm. And then MDIA is 30 times its normal with a relative volume or relative standard deviation of 4. The ATR is 34 cents and then 19 cents on this one. So there's a calculation I use for that, but you use your own calculation. That's the average true range between those two. GCTS coming back up to $9, and very this one, man, this thing, if you're gonna do anything with this one, you got to do it on a green candle. And with the way it's diving, it would need to close this candle, and we'll see how the next candle opens. The bottom here is $7.92. So that's $1 risk, and the chances that this thing goes back up with MDIA and HUBC up right now is kind of slim, and it looks like it's going back down and breaking $8. So going even further down there. So this is the first 15 minutes. This is one 15-minute candle. Think about somebody that's holding this thing that may have just started trading from $11.88, and now they're down at $8. And this is one of their learning moments. They're like, you know what? I did something wrong here. I did something really wrong. I shouldn't have held this thing. I thought it was going up, and I got blasted. Let's see. HUBC still up here above the ATR high. 160 now. Looks like it's going to continue up though. Looks like it's going to continue to break up. Let's see MDIA. MDIA holding high above the ATR as well. So maybe these are going to be technical traders that just want to, be fast, be quick, and try not to catch a big downward move. Wow, look at this thing opening up here. So if this thing pushes all the way back over this monthly level, I'm gonna have to be in there. All the way back over here to 969. That's gonna be some trap shorts right there on a Friday. I would definitely be a participant there for a break back over ATR low. But at this point, I gotta let this thing play. It took some souls on that drop. All right, MDIA having a little bit of a pullback, but again, above the ATR, you're trying to buy on red candles if they have reason to be bought back up. This one does not have catalysts. So with this type, a lot of people just focus on breakouts. Give me the breakout. Let me get out. I see the movement upward because you never know how far something like this is going to drop if it doesn't have catalysts. Okay, HUBC doing the same thing, going upwards. Looking like it wants to go up there and test $2. Wow, wow, wow. This thing may pump down even more. Has a bottom here of 785s. And that thing got destroyed. All right, HUBC is looking like it's going to become the one on the day. Another candle going higher. Had a soft pullback here, but it has a little bit of catalyst behind the name. So got that push back up to 189-ish. And then GCTS back up to 850s. But it's got a lot of work to do. I mean, for it to eat up this whole candle, it would have to do it like early, like now, like in the next, I don't know, 10 minutes, jumping all the way back in here, right? Because as volume fades off, people will focus on HUBC and MDIA. They'll focus on these. And MDIA is still giving a short-term pullback here. Had a low of the 319s. Then HUBC just absolutely hammering the top. 40 million shares traded on HUBC. Now it is a lower float. I didn't really look at the floats on these two because they're under 5, so I was like, but I guess I could go and look at them. Let's see, MDIA. Donnell says took the breakout 179 up to 187. Float on MDIA is 3.14 million, according to Yahoo Finance. And then HUBC, this float was 4. So 3 and 4 million are very low floats. Let's cross check this. MDIA. Cross check this. Yeah, 3 million over here. And HU. And 87. Whoa, what? HUBC has 87. That thing must be off. Let's go over here. Check Market Watch. Market Watch, 87 million in the public float as well on HUBC. Let's go and look at media, MDIA. So two sites said it has 87 for HUBC. This one says 3.14 for media. So we'll see. GTCS coming back up to $9. GCTS, I mean, making a little move off of this value low area, but that doesn't mean anything. Let's see, all the way back up to the 9s. Let's see how this candle closes if it wants to continue downwards. But yeah, still interesting, up 53%. Okay, let's go back over here. Yeah, let's go back over here. Media. Still holding at this level with media. Hasn't really made a move out yet. Even though it has so much volume. I don't know why it's just not going. Both of these are super low floats. Except for HUBC, I'm not sure about because I saw that it had 87 million on two of those sites. Let me go check the short squeeze. Short squeeze. See what it says. HUBC. Yeah, shares float. Three sites said 87 million, and then one said that little 4 million or something like that. So kind of confusing. Okay, MDIA finally making the decision to get on out of there. Let's see if it can actually go up here and clap this top and get over $4. So yeah, I would have to wait until a doji candle forms. I mean, you would have to wait for indecision down here to do anything because this thing can go either way, and it's making big ranges on GCTS. It's really not in the competition anymore. Maybe later on today it will be, but as of now, it is not the competitor. MDIA forming a rickshaw man. If this is the top of the move, forming a rickshaw man, which tells us it's almost a type of doji, but it's telling us that something is about to happen back to the other side. Now, sometimes we see on these stocks that don't have catalysts, they don't actually follow patterns. So they may form a pattern that's supposed to go down and then go up. So they you have to just manage your risk on these types. And then HUBC through a wick all the way up there to 189 high. And looking to come back and test the ATR high. So not a huge move there, but it's definitely still a player in the game. HUCB breaking or going and holding the 175s, going back towards those 190s. Okay. So media, we're gonna give that one a second. We'll just stick with HUBC. We'll see if GCTS wants to go ahead and form a doji down here of some type, but it's probably going to need some consolidation and may not even move back up on a Friday, even though it had the catalyst. So we see that sometimes on Fridays, got a catalyst and it just doesn't do what you expect it to do at all. All right, HUBC, what you got? A little bit more size coming in there at the 175s for HUBC. Can it start to hold up those 80s? There's 179, 180, 181. There's a push. Getting into those 180s. Let's see if it can hold that 180. 181. Yeah, it's looking like it's holding these 180s, giving a lot of 180 price action. $182s, 183s, 184s, 185s. I'm literally just looking at the price right here, the ladder, the numbers coming in, and seeing that it is above the ATR high, which is a pretty good indicator that it is bullish. So it's in their favor anyway. Let me jump back over here to MDIA. Still holding here. Has not broken that high. And HBCU coming back down to the 80s. Now, you know, with the math that I do on the ATR, you could calculate where your stops will be. And, you know, I usually look for 25% of the ATR. So right now, HBCU has an ATR of 19 cents. So I'll say, okay, 19 cents times 25%. That'll be a 4-cent profit. So every 4 cents, you'll be moving your stop, right? Because of the ATR. So you don't get blown out. But that's just the way I do it, 25%. You could do it with a lower percentage. You could say, hey, I only want 10% of the ATR. I only want 5% of the ATR, right? But usually I aim for 25% of the ATR. And then for MDIA, its ATR is 34 cents. So we'll just, whoops, 24, 34. We'll multiply that by 25. It will be moving every 8 cents, right? So every 8 cents will be moving on up, moving on up. If it stops us out, oh well, we'll get back in and we'll move on up. If it grows the ATR, then we'll just change the calculation. But yeah, MDIA had a little bottom here of 323, and that kind of calculation for this ATR would probably be more for like someone that's super quick scalping, not trying to take big losses. If you are trying to hold for a while, you can give it a little bit more room. You can double that. You can be like, okay, well, instead of 8 cents, I'll risk 16 cents, right? Instead of 16 cents, I'll risk 3 times for it to go higher. But you got to keep it in perspective, though. You don't want to be risking so much that it actually hurts you every time you lose, right? You lose like 2 or 3 trades when you do lose. Looking like a double top here at the 390s on MDIA, but still looking very bullish on this action. GCTS just getting absolutely pummeled down here. Wow. All right, MDIA popped over just for a bit. And so those that do the breakout traded, they're doing very well. And they're just like, hey, if this thing falls, you know, let's just wait a minute because we don't know where it's going to get caught at. Wait for it to get caught. Look for the bids to come in, get that breakout, you know, and go on about your business. All right, 3 HUBC here. So this one's only got 10 cents away from its ATR high. Hasn't really moved a whole lot away from this. So I'm guessing it's going to come down here and test this 161 at some point. Okay, let me see. 850s. See if this is going to go ahead and go red. The low of this was 801. So a breakdown of $8 is going to definitely be a detriment for this one coming into the close of this. But anyway, those are the 3 stocks that we pretty much had to watch for today: MDIA, HUBC, and GCTS. I'll just continue. I'll kind of watch them, but you know, they need to break 5 for me to get really interested. And since these started so low, yes, they're up 100 and something percent, but for their price, you know, you have to take into the relative aspect there. But yeah, that is a stream for me today. I'm about to go, and it may be a no trade week for me, man. I don't know. We'll see. Everything's just looking like it's drowning. Everything that had some type of reason to go up is just going down, you know. So this bottom here is right at the value level low, has room up here to the 980s. Could give it a try, but you know, I would have to cut the loss at 780s there. This is a inverted hammer, so I do like the inverted hammer, but it would just have to show me green. I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard one because it's just now opening up the candle and it's still 92% buyers on this or sellers on this one. So not sure about that. Could be a nice winner, but I'm not gonna. I just have to see if I'm gonna end up doing anything with that. Anyway, that is the stream for me today. MDIA getting over 200% and continuing to kill the game on the day. 35 million shares traded. HUBC still holding up as well. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to kind of sit down and think, take a break and think, take a walk and think, come back and revisit and see if there is a risk to reward for me today. Anyway, that is it for me today. If you're going to continue trading, definitely be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. And as always, looks like MDIA is going towards $5, but hey, we'll see. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Peace.